What's up? Yo, this is a puzzle behind me. White to move. Hello, this is a puzzle behind me. White to move. Hmm. Oh snap! Forgot to give me some water. This is a puzzle behind me. It is white to move. What is white's best move? Bishop c4. White to move. What are the moves? Bishop f5. So they can all hang out on the same file? You heard something else. White to move. What is the best move? Queen b6. Just hitting those pawns on the queen side. Queen b6. h4, queen h4, rook f5. h5. Okay, so the correct move is actually h4. But after h4, queen moves to h5. What is the next best move? After the queen moves to h5, what is the next best move? Forgot to give me a water. I'll be right back. Did anybody figure out the move yet? A lot of people are saying g4. That's not the correct move. Joshua, you're correct. Matthew, you're correct. Brawl? Yeah, Brawl. Brow Nick? You're correct too. Rook takes on f6 is the next correct move. And you're probably wondering what happens after g takes on f6. What happens after g takes on f6? g4, queen takes on f6. Hey, Martin, what's up? So the next best move is g4. If queen takes on g4, what happens? What happens after queen takes on g4? Yeah, all of you saying it. Rook g1, pinning the queen to the king. Good job. Let's get to the next puzzle. And hello, if you haven't been in this live stream yet, this is the H1 live stream. Chess Knowledge with H1 to be exact. And we just do puzzles, chess games, and I just figure out if y'all can get these moves correct. So this is like your own personal chess class on TikTok. If you want to be challenged, this is the spot to do so and to be the best. You have to do puzzles and go over classic games. And so that's what I do. If you want more information or if you want to play actual games and be like inserted into tournaments and things of that nature, you can sign up for the TikTok subscription, which will offer a Discord that people can follow. And you'll get free emotes for every time that I live stream, which will be every single day. Plus, you will have priority comments, and I will be answering pretty much all of your comments in the comment section. All right, let's move on to the next puzzle. And if you don't want to hear from me, then hear from the people that has already signed up for, like Martin, Captain, things of that nature. All right, this is a puzzle, black to move. What is the best move for black? Actually, I'm forgetting one bishop. All right. What is the best move for black? And we're going to have a tournament in the Discord. Yep. Yes, sub to H1 and join the Discord. Yeah. Listen to Martin. Yeah, you can play against me whenever you want in the Discord. We play all the time. Axe, Roro, Martin. Yeah, you have direct contact with me. All right, queen b2. Yeah, this is for black, just to let everybody know. D4 takes. This is black to move. Yeah, this is black to move. What is the best move for black? Queen b2, bishop g4. Knight e4? Okay, that's new. Queen d4, knight g4. I guess the knight g4 is attacking the queen, right? It's understandable. All right, I guess let's do a poll right quick. I'm gonna do a quick poll. Smile for queen takes on b2, and cry for knight g4. Those are the answers that I've seen the most. Thank you for loving the channel. I see you. The poll is going to end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And thank you for everybody that's sharing the stream too. All right. The correct move is queen takes on b2 because you're hitting two pieces. You're hitting the rook on a1 and the knight on c3. And you're hitting this too. Hitting three pieces right now. So if the knight moves back to b3, what is the best move from here? Captain just took like 20 milligrams of melatonin, so I don't know how much time I have left. That's fine, man. Yeah, queen takes on c3. That's correct. Attacking the king. And yeah, this is the best move. This is the best move of the position. All right, really good. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. All right, what is the best move in this position? And you are the white pieces. Oh, my bad. What is the best move now? You are the white pieces. Queen h2, knight e2. Never mind. Bishop to e3. Bishop to d5. Queen h2. Queen h2 is a little bit slow. Knight f5. Just giving away pieces. Love your chess videos. Thank you. I appreciate them. I appreciate that. I think one person got it right. Yep. So you're right, Ritwick. Luke, you're correct. Okay, let's just go over the best move right quick. The best move is bishop to e3. I'll let y'all just savor that move right quick and realize how brilliant that move is. There's a lot of things going on in this position too. There's a lot of pins, forks, skewers happening right now. And we're going to go over each move. If the queen moves to b4, what is our best move? What is the best move if the queen moves to b4? If y'all have a problem seeing the position, I can move the camera a little bit forward. That probably looks a little bit better, right? All right. Yeah, so rook to h6 is the best move here. That's the whole purpose of bishop b3. If queen takes on e3, what's the next best move? I'm trying to move it closer so y'all can see the board. Yeah, Martin, you're correct. Rook e2. No, just taking the queen. Because if you take the queen, knight takes queen, guess what you're setting up for now? What's the next best move? Yeah, rook takes. After rook takes, you have a better position than your opponent. This rook is pinning this bishop to the king. This bishop is already attacking the bishop on f7. You're up a material. Yeah, you just have a better chance of winning the game other than your opponent. All right. Hey. Let's move on to the next puzzle. Last one, and then we're going to get into a game. All right. Black to move. What is the best move? Queen takes on f2, bishop f1, e3, queen f1. A lot of people is already saying the move, but let me see right quick, because there's two pieces the queen could take. We're going to do a poll. If people like the move queen takes on f1, smile. If you like queen takes on f2, cry. Queen f1, then queen takes queen. Queen f1, then queen takes queen, then bishop takes queen, then king takes bishop, then promote. All right, that might be a cool plan. All right, so the correct move is queen takes on f2. But in order for you to think that this is correct, you're going to have to find the move after king takes on f2. So what is that? After king takes on f2, what is the correct move? Okay, we got e3, we got bishop takes. A lot of people are already saying e3. Let's get into it. e3, check. What happens, let's say the king moves to e1. What happens if the king moves to e1? King f4. Wait a minute now. Our bishop is being attacked. A lot of people are saying e2. Yeah, most of you is already correct. It's just bishop takes on f1, king takes on f1, and then king e4. One thing I know what you do not want to do as white is go to king g1. What happens after king g1? Yeah, the move e2 just wipes white pieces off the board. And let me just go into this right quick so that you can know that king e1 isn't a suitable defense for the for the white pieces. Because after bishop takes on f1, king takes on f1, king e4, now the king is active. King back to e2, And then you might be thinking, okay, what's going on now? Do we push up d4? Do we push up b5? What do we do now? Can y'all figure it out? What do we do now? Pawn d4, pawn b6. Let's get the likes going. b5. Yeah, somebody just said it. It's king f4. King f4 in this position. It's king f4 because the king can move to king g3 and take these pawns. If the king goes up, then, this move just wins. Just take these pawns. White's best chance is to just push these pawns on the A and B file, right? That's his best chance, but he has to do one move at a time. Still, going to king g3, that is a lot faster. Even if the king tries to go back, then you can push down e2, and then king has to take, you take these pawns on the king side. All right, let's get to a game right quick. We got a game on white pieces is Peter Corning, who is he is 2080. That's his rating. And then the black pieces, his name is Roman Christopher, and his rating is 1784. This was played in 2017, round 6 of this tournament, called the La Caleta. So, hey, let's go through the game right quick. It's not by grandmasters, of course, but we can still learn from these type of games. Let's set up the board. We're almost set up. Oh, crap. Drop the piece. Okay, let's get started. Let's get started in this game right quick. What's up? What's up, Shun XOXO? All right. What do y'all think is the first move is? What do y'all think is the first move by white? Yeah. So, as a white player, he played e4. After e4, then d5, which initiates the Scandinavian defense. After e5, e takes on d5, knight f6, attacking the pawn a second time. This is like one variation in the Scandinavian defense. After the move c4 was played, then we got the move c6, sacrificing another pawn, making it a gambit. This variation is actually called the pawn-off transfer. So after the move c6 was played, knight c3. Oh, wait a minute. Knight c3, c takes on d5, then white did the move d4. And this is all theory too. This is all theory. If you're trying to play against the Scandinavian, I would have this in my repertoire. After the move d4, e6, knight f3, bishop e7, we're trying to get out of the theory, bishop e7, bishop d3, then we got the move a6, which is 1 inaccuracy. What do we do next after the move a6? What is the best move for white to do after the move a6? LeBron, you are correct. CJ, you're correct too. The next move that was played was actually c5 to take advantage of a6. After c5, then another wild move was played, b5. What are we doing after b5? There's a lot of good moves that could be played here, and I will acknowledge your comments on the moves that are the best. Take queen. A lot of people are saying en passant. I get that. It's not the top four. It's not the top 4 moves though. Doing en passant. Even though you can do en passant, doesn't mean that you should all the time. Okay, a3 because you don't want to get hit by that b4 move. Okay, I get that. f3 to e5, moving the knight a second time. I don't know if that's the best move since in the opening you want to still develop, but you know. Kingside Castle, that is actually the move that Peter did. He just castled the king. Because you can't attack unless you have all of your pieces developed. Simple rules that we have to follow when we're playing the game of chess. After knight c6, what would y'all play next? What would y'all play next after knight c6? We got knight e5. Knight e5. That's the first move. Come on. Can you explain the advantage of watching you instead of a GM? Not trying to be mean. I appreciate you. Well, this is just a live stream. I don't know many GMs that's live streaming right now on TikTok, but that is a pretty valid question. I have been teaching for a while, though. Just because somebody is a GM doesn't mean that they're a great teacher. And there are a lot of examples of that. All right, so we got bishop c3, bishop f5, e1, queen e1, bishop e5, knight e5, a3. You are doing a great job, learning a lot from you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And just if you don't know, if you're a beginner, I do have a beginner playlist on my account and a strategy and tactics playlist. So you can pretty much learn all the tactics on my account. Makes sense? Thanks. For example, I hate Feingold. Look, see, so one thing that I want to mention too is that I've listened to so many chess teachers on YouTube, and there's not a lot of good chess teachers that's not going to be monotone when they're talking about chess, or they don't explain things clearly or convey their thought. A lot of that happens all the time. But the next best move is rook e1. That's one of the best moves. You could have did rook e1, a3, h3, things of that nature. So after rook e1, queen c7, what are we doing next? How can we just keep on developing? There's a couple more pieces that we don't have developed yet, and it's still the opening. So We want to get all of our pieces in the battle. So bishop f4, okay. After bishop f4, right? This queen is on this diagonal, so we can't go to bishop f4, even though that might be a good diagonal to put that bishop. Where else can we put that bishop? Bishop g5. Yeah, bishop g5, xd. You are correct. So that's the move that was played, bishop g5, just attacking the knight, putting the pieces on good squares. After bishop g5, his opponent did the move knight g4, not castling the king yet for some reason. So after knight g4, what are we doing next? We got h3, trade bishops by Ken. Blank, just take on e7, trade. Got to move the queen now. All right. Well, the move that was played in this game was just taking the bishop on e7, since it's being attacked right now. So after bishop takes on e7, knight takes on e7, you still have an advantage with the white pieces. Well, what can we do next? And this move was a little bit of an inaccuracy by the white pieces, but you know, this next move is still a reasonable move to do. Yeah, fn4. You are correct. He did the move h3 to kick this knight out where it was. And this knight moved for no reason too. When you see moves like knight g4 without the prospect of going to knight e5 or to another interesting square, then this move was useless. Even this queen cannot checkmate on h2 because this knight is covering this h2 square. Now, by the computer standard, this h3 move is not the most perfect move. They wanted to do moves like b4, a4, crack down on this queen side. But I digress. After h3, then we got the move knight to f6. Knight to f6. Oh, I'll let you figure out the next move. How often do you stream? I played chess for the first time today and want to learn more about it. I stream every single day, and if you just started playing chess, I do have a beginner playlist on my TikTok account and my YouTube account too. Not g4 because that would be weakening. G4 would be too weakening to play. This king would be very useless in that position. You don't want to push up the pawns in front of your king until the center is closed. LeBron, you're correct. The move knight e5 was played. Just putting your pieces in good squares, and that's what you're supposed to do in closed positions like this. And there's only two half files in this position right now. One on the C file and one on the E file. Let me just show you right quick. One on the E file and one on the C file. And this position is closed. So after the move bishop b7, which is actually a blunder because of what move can white do. This move wasn't played in the game, but this is the reason why you should be looking for sacrifices and captures and threats and checks in all games. Hack dog. I don't know what piece you're trying to move. C6. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, or Arnav, you're correct. The best move in this position was to sacrifice that bishop on b5. Sacrifice that bishop on b5. Because after a takes on b5, knight takes on b5, and look at this position right quick. You're attacking the queen. The queen has to move first. And now this knight can hop into this d6 square. And imagine the perfect knights on d6 and e5. That's a position that anybody wants. And then you can just push up these queenside pawns, promote, and it's a very simple plan for white, and black doesn't know what they're doing. So always look at sacrifices like that, especially that gives you dynamic positions against your opponent. But the move that was actually played in this position was queen e2. Ordinary, but hey, you know, not everybody does the perfect moves all the time. That's realistic chess. Black did the move knight c6. What are we doing next? And yes, if you're thinking that he probably played the move again, he did not. Yeah, he just traded the knight on the c6 square, even though this bishop to b5 move could have been played again in the same situation, getting that knight to the d6 square. But, you know, this is human chess. After knight takes on c6, bishop takes on c6, you don't really have the awesome position that you used to have, but you still have a good one. Now, what move do you think is played? Here. If you use the white pieces, what move do you think is played here? This game is from a tournament in 2017 by 2080 rating is, I think that's just an expert against a 1780 rated player. So queen e5, a4, somebody's going the right direction. Our weave does, oh, the S word. Yeah, you got the move correct. He played the move b4 in this situation. Just locking up that pawn, getting ready to play the move a4. Just attacking those queenside pawns. Once those queenside pawns move, then we can just go up running to promote the rest of our pawns. So after b4, queen to b4. Got this Invisalign in my mouth right now. After queen to f4, the white pieces, he did the sacrifice too late, but knight to b5 was played. After knight to b5, a takes on b5, bishop takes on b5, bishop takes on b5, and I'm pretty sure his queen takes on b5, and then his opponent moves to king f8. The other position was a little bit better with more pieces on the board, but this position, it is clarified. You do have more of a dynamic type of position against your opponent, but things are just a little bit weaker, especially with your queen on b5 and this pawn on d4 that's a little bit loose. But let's continue. What's the next move? Yeah, Nick, you are right. He played the move c6 even though queen d3 was better, but hey, when you have passed pawns, why not push them? Why not push your past pawns? I can't talk with this Invisalign in. But anyway, after g6, what are we doing next? The plan is pretty simple for the white side. And I would rather have a simple plan and have a somewhat bad position than have no plan at all. Yeah, Sean Murphy, you're correct. He played the move queen c5, checking the king. After queen c5, king g7, what's next? I already told you white's simple plan, and you should be able to pull it through. And most people can't deal with all of these pawns on the queen side. So what are we doing next? If you was white, what would you do next? On human standards, this is not equalized. But for humans, hey, c7 is a little bit the c7 move is a little bit risky because after c7 there's not really a lot of support. For example, after c7 this rook can move right here, queen is still attacking the c7 pawn. The only way to defend it is moving this rook over here. This knight can come back here to e8 to attack the c7 pawn again, and there's no really backup to protect that pawn again. So we don't want to be too fast to push our pawns up to like the last rank to promotion. What are we doing next though? g3, attacking the queen. Could be a good move. b5. Hey, if y'all don't find the right move, we're all doing push-ups. We're doing 10 push-ups if y'all don't find the right move in the next 30 seconds. Y'all was getting it right until the end of the stream. Come on, y'all got this. This is on y'all now. Oh, snap. Yep. Put the rook back. That's my bad. I give you 30 more seconds. My bad. What are we doing? Queen e7, e5, g3, rook e4. Rook e4, g3, b5. I'm not seeing the right move yet that is played in the game. a4. Yeah, there we go. Micah Cal 1. Yes, the move a4 was played. Run up all the pawns together. One pawn is somewhat of a deal, but running up 3 pawns? That's KO right there. So black has to do something about these pawns, and you got to bring all the pieces over to the queen side. And why not start with the move knight e4? After knight e4, white did the worst move, because a crazy move that no human would have found is sacrificing the rook to e4. Maybe Magnus Carlsen would have found that. But he did queen c2, which was pretty reasonable. After queen c2, knight d6, the pieces are going to the queen side. Then the move queen c3 was played. After queen c3, knight c4, what are we doing next? As the white pieces, what are we doing next? Our plan is simple. I've been repeating this plan for the longest. Don't forget to do 20 push-ups mid-game. I might, if y'all don't find the right moves. Yugase, you're correct, and Danny, you're correct. Martin, you can't go to b6, but I understand the move that you're trying to say. b5, just pushing the pawns down. After b5, rook to b8, rook h to b8. What are we doing next? What are we doing next after rook h to b8? Be careful from just pushing pawns now. We have to plan these pushes. Because if we go to c7 right now, this queen can just snap the pawn right off the board. We don't want that. b2, you are correct, but you didn't say which rook. Okay, now people are saying which rook that they want to move. Ritwick, you are correct. Rook e to b1. Rook e to b1. After rook e to b1, queen to c7. And this is what you're supposed to do. If you're going against 3 pawns and you're the opponent, this is what you're supposed to do. Bring all the pieces, stop these pawns immediately to try to overwhelm your opponent into making a mistake. This is a completely equal position too. White did queen b4, rook a5, and then the move rook to c1 was played. After rook c1, rook b to a8, what do you think was played next? Yeah, you see the mindset. Yeah, you gotta build the idea. The idea is simple, but you just can't just go sacrificing material. What are we doing next though? And this next move might be a little bit crazy. ZZ88, you're correct. A lot of people want to do B6 right now, but remember, knights can go backwards. That knight can just capture the pawn on B6 very easily. Like, the idea is simple, but you still have to make sure that you take away your opponent's defenses to push up these pawns. Martin, you are so correct. Rook takes on c4, getting rid of that knight. Getting rid of that knight. Probably one of the best moves of the position. D takes on c4, and now you have a small advantage even though you're down a full rook, and that's how powerful pawns can be. You got 3 pawns locking down your opponent's position right now. This just shows the power of pawns. What's the next best move? What is the next best move? The next move is pretty simple. Not b6 yet. You got to be careful. If b6 is played, queen takes on c6 can happen. And remember, you sacrifice the rook so your opponent can sacrifice a rook back at any time. Yes, the move that was played is queen takes on c7. Just taking the pawn back. Why not? Why rush when your opponent is behind bars right now? After queen c4, black tried to move the king over there to defend. Why not? What else is there to do in black's position? So what are we playing next? Imagine you playing both sides and figuring out the tension and the mindset you're supposed to have in both sides. I would rather play white's position than black's position. Somebody just got the correct move. You're correct. Akbird, you're correct. Welcome, man. Akbird in the building. Good talking with you in the Discord. But anyway, the move queen c5 was played. Queen c5, check. After queen c5, then the opponent got a little bit zealous. Probably should have just shuffled moves. And a lot of players don't know how to just shuffle moves and realize, oh snap, this is a drawn position. Let me not go for anything else. So after king e8, that was a major mistake. But you're going to have to find a winning advantage against your opponent. Put your hands up, Akbird. Go all in with the queens. You have a 47% chance beating the kings. Maybe it's a king offset, or a low 2. What are you talking about? What's the move? Stanley, you are so correct. Push up Devante. Yeah, you're correct. We're pushing up Devante, doing the move, d5, abusing this king that's on the e file. Maybe not use the word abusing, but you get my point. Making that king naked. Maybe, okay, we're just gonna go with that. After d5, black should not take that pawn at all. Or this rook will be sliding to e1 and maybe being checkmated in the next few moves. Actually, yeah, isn't this rook e1? If the king moves to d8, checkmate already on the board. Very simple stuff. Not that complicated. This isn't a grandmaster game. So after d5, rook to d8, what are we doing next? And the opponent missed this move, just to let y'all know. The opponent did something silly that wasn't the best move. Which, playing these type of positions, you are taking a risk, and it is hard. d6 to b6? d6 or b6? Well, if you do b6, you're going to get your queen taken. But I see your point. It could still work. But you have to be careful. You only got one rook if you lose your queen. b5 to b6. It's not b5 to b6. D6. Well, D6 happens, then rook takes on D6 can ruin your whole pawn structure. What is the best move here? The move that was played, just to give you a hint, the move that was played in this position was D takes on E6. Not losing, but there was a way better move for white. Taking on E6 is the move that was played. Rook D1, I see you. Who is that? Akbird. Rook D1 does make some sense, but I think that's collapsing the pawns a little bit. Rook E1 does make sense too. Okay, there's a lot of moves that could have been played. Queen B4, threatening to push up B6, doing the move that all y'all wanted to do, threatening to push up B6. Queen B4 could have been played. Rook B1 could have been played, sacrificing that A4 pawn. What's another move that could have been played? Queen C3, weirdly enough, could have been played, threatening that check, taking these pawns, things of that nature. A lot of moves could have been played. So after D takes on E6, F takes on E6, not the best move. Then the move, wait a minute. Then the move Queen C3 was played. Not as powerful as before, but hey, I digress. Black played the move King F7. After King F7, what do y'all think White played? What do y'all think Peter played next? There's no checkmate for Black. There's a rook on A1, just to let y'all know. Queen B4. All right, I get that. Well, he missed that. He missed that tactic, and we're moving on to some more tactics. We're moving on to another position. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, I know the chat is probably in the way, but remember, there's a rook on A1, guys. Yeah, Queen F3 was played. Fractally weird in Naruto. Yep. Queen F3 was played, checking the king. After Queen F3, King G8. Then now what are we doing? And I think Martin, you or Akbird, it was probably one of you. You got the move correct, the last move. Check the king. Now what are we doing? This position could have been a little bit more simple. And surprisingly enough, you're still up in an advantage in this position. Even though you're down a full rook. A lot of people want to do Queen F6, not quite. A queen attacking the king by itself isn't doing anything. So you're gonna have to go where your pieces are strongest. Who just said it? What's your account name? Saker230? Yeah, the move Queen B3 was played, threatening to push this pawn up and attacking this pawn on E6. That's why we did the check on F3. Queen E5. Your opponent's trying to get their pieces on offensive lines. What are we doing now? Do y'all see the threat by our opponent? This is a threat that... Oh, wait a minute. Let's take and go further. We got to look at our opponent's threats first and then analyze what we should be doing next. A lot of people saying rook D1. Not rook D1, right? I guess rook D1 trading off rooks, but we're down in materials, so we can't trade off a lot of pieces here without being sure that we're winning. A lot of people saying rook C1. Okay, you're almost there. Rook C1 actually does work. Rook F1. Rook C1. Yeah, the move that was played was rook b1. After rook b1, then a nasty little move, rook d4 was played. And by nasty, I mean horrible. Because after rook d4, and realizing that you shouldn't be doing any active moves right now since you're trying to stop these three pawns. Black's position is horrible. And I think he thought that he was getting some type of advantage in this position, but no, not at all. And now White's plan is pretty simple. Yeah, you sell bikes, you're correct. Sir take, you're correct. Yeah, just push up the pawn, b6. Black finally released the pressure on the pawns, and now they can move forward. And just for y'all to know, two pawns on the sixth rank like this is almost as powerful as a full rook. After this, rook a takes on a4. That's the move that was played. What are we doing next? Our moves are very simple now. What are we doing next? Braden, you're correct. And Prasha, you're correct. A lot of people are correct. C7. C7, pushing up that pawn. Why not B7, Davon? Why not B7? Well, B7 just doesn't sit right. And plus, Queen B8 would have stopped the pawns very abruptly. So C7, now we're going for a square that's not even attacked at all. That's C8 square. After C7, our opponent moved the rook from D file to C4, stopping at C pawn. What's happening now? And this next move should be kind of self-explanatory. I've been going over this the whole game, this principle of pushing our passed pawns. Now, let's go for it. Not C8, we're not promoting that pawn yet. That would just give away a whole queen for nothing. That would lose the whole game. We got to be careful. We made a dynamic position for ourselves for us to overwhelm our opponent. And so this is risky for us since we have to make the correct moves. B6 isn't a move. B7, who said that? A lot of people said it, but the first people I've seen say it is the Ninja King, Deltano. A lot of people said it. B7. Two pawns on the 7th rank. One is going to promote no matter what. Now Black is going to have to choose. Which one do you think is going to promote? Queen takes on C7. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? Yeah, promote the B pawn. Right. Queen takes on B8. Queen takes on B8. Self-explanatory. After that, King G7. And now you're going to have to figure out how to checkmate our opponent and make sure that our opponent doesn't create a fortress with their two rooks. What are we starting with next? And just for y'all to know, there is checkmate in 9. Rook B7, good move. Rook B7, attacking the king. That's the first move. King H6. What's next? Now there's checkmate in 6 moves since he didn't go the right direction. Queen F8. Everybody's already calling it. Queen F8. Checking the king. After Queen F8, his opponent decided to resign at this moment. But what happens if the king moves to H5? Let's finish this checkmate. What happens if the king goes to H5? A lot of people are saying G4. Good check. Not good enough though. Because A. Peters, you are correct. The move that was played here was Rook B5, attacking the king. After Rook B5, attacking the king, Rook C5, Rook takes on c5. g5. What's happening next? We got like 3 more moves left. What's happening next? We got like 3 more moves left. A lot of people saying queen f7 already. Queen f7, king h6. Checkmate in 2. Come on, guys. Come on. You got it. Yeah. Queen f6. Who said that? Queen f6. Tiam, you said it. The Ninja King said it. Yeah. Queen f6. Explanatory. And then after king h5, checkmate in 1. Queen f6. Checkmate in 1 now. Queen takes on g5. Checkmate. I like this game because not only was it like emotional, you get to see like both people's mindsets. White side was a simple plan. Black side wasn't as simple. It is really hard to try to defend against 3 pawns that's coming at you. And even at one point, White had to sacrifice a rook for his knight, sacrifice more material to get those pawns pushed up. So remember, if you have passed pawns that you have to push, and they're passed, try to push those pawns up. It's a very simple plan when you're playing chess. Black Lives Matter, it does. And yeah, I don't know why that was random. But this game was pretty good. This was a human game. Like I said before, the white player was 2080 and the black player was 1784. That was their ratings. Probably close near some of y'all ratings, and yeah, I really enjoyed this game. We got a guest here that wants to join right quick. Who you got? Hey,
Peace,
how you
brother.
doing? Hey, man, how you doing?
Yo, you know what's funny? I learned how to play chess in 1987, right?
Yeah.
And I was actually locked up in jail. I learned how to play chess, and he always used to tell me push those pawns. Like I'm literally watching it with the crowd saying, and I'm remembering what he first told me when I first started getting the hang of it, which was to push those pawns. And it's just ill that you're extolling the same virtue. So I just wanted to say that real
Yeah.
quick, man. And I like the way you teach how to even in pushing them, you still got to think about what you're doing, these ancillary moves while you're pushing your pawn. So I really appreciate your teaching, man. You enjoy the rest of your evening, okay?
Hey, man, you too. That's really cool that you learn chess that way. And plus, too,
Yep.
yeah, pushing your pawns is like the easiest, simplest idea that you could do, especially if you have passed pawns. So, hey, you
Facts.
have a good day too. Shoot, that, yeah, y'all heard it from him. Simple pawn pushes can pretty much overwhelm your opponent. What a great guy! I know Martin and Roro with the 70 roses dono. Hey man, I didn't see you for a while, but yeah, I just went over the game, so the stream is ending. Um, we just went over some puzzles and we went over the game, so now we're just gonna answer questions. Just chill, relax. Oh snap! Somebody else wants to join. We got the Ninja King in the building.
Hey,
Hey
so
man, what's up?
uh, whenever I play chess against my friends, they'll always keep on forgetting to pawn push, and I'll tell them to push their pawns, and they keep on asking me why. And so I've been having them watch your videos to help them understand why. And now that they see why, they've been pawn pushing a whole lot more, and they've been winning
Yeah.
a lot more games because of pawn pushing.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's
And they're
why
like, So
That's why
just
I'm
by a
really
simple,
specific. Yeah, that's why I'm really specific on like pushing past pawns. Don't just push up any pawns, push up past pawns. Well, bye, my phone's about to die. Peace, good night.
hmm
See you later, Roro. But yeah, that's why I'm very specific on the pawns that you should be pushing. Don't just push up all 8 pawns in the opening. You should push up uh, the pawns that needs to be pushed, especially in the middle game, because that one pawn can ruin your position and overwhelm them into making a mistake. A very simple idea like that can definitely just
yeah,
push your opponent's breaking point. Oh, I stream every single day too. I'm just
yeah.
answering the chat right now.
Um,
I stream every single day at around 10 o'clock every single day,
mhm.
Central Time. Okay, but what you got? Ninja King?
So I want to say one other mistake that they keep on making is they always try to take out the queen as soon as they can. Hmm.
Ooh, that's a bad habit to get into.
So they keep on trying to take out my queen as soon as they can, which leaves them vulnerable for certain things that I like to do with them. Because they were trying to push with their queen one time. Yeah.
Hmm.
So they were trying to push with their queen, and I checked them with their bishop, and so they had used the horse to defend, the knight to defend, and so I also added another bishop right there, just so that it was kind of a little bit more difficult to do more
Yeah,
things.
you're going
And
specific. You
okay,
lost
so I
me.
learned to
I,
not
I do
attack.
I do understand of like yeah you don't move your queens too early. I do understand that, and most people do so still because they think oh snap the queen is most powerful. Then the queen should be the one that is
Hmm.
taking care of all of the other pieces. That's what like every beginner thinks. I can say that that is not true at all. There's an army on the chessboard that you have to march all together. If you don't, then you're going to face off a battle with half your folks. You got to have the whole family together. So that's why you have to develop all your pieces. It's like if you're having like a party or whatever, you're not going to leave out one of your best friends out of the party. So why would you do that on the chessboard? But hey, man, thanks for coming in on the call. I
Hmm.
appreciate you. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll see you next time, okay?
Right. Just
Oh, crap. He was going to say something else. Thanks for the crown, Martin. I appreciate the crown. I appreciate the donos, especially by Roro dropping in too. I have a request. Please show Carol Khan advanced variation main line as white. Do I got time to do that? I usually just do 1 hour streams. What's the best defense if you're the black pieces in your opinion? I would say whatever is a classical opening, but a lot of players say nowadays that the King's Indian is the best opening since you can play that against everything. But I would go for openings that don't ruin the chess principles that you learned in the beginning. Control the center, develop your pieces, your bishops and knights, castle your king, put your rooks in the center, things of that nature. Can you cover aggressive queens tomorrow? Yeah, I can cover that. I can cover premature attacks, things of that nature. Tall was actually known for that. Mikhail Tall, he actually lost a couple games for doing premature attacks. I'm here, but do you stream only chess or other complex games? I do stream only chess, and I do stream other complex games. I do want to get into the habit of streaming like popular chess tournaments, so we'll see about that. But anyway, let me go over the Caro-Kann event. Oh crap! No, my mic. I have to put my bike back together. Just bear with me. But we can go over the advanced variation right quick. My ELO, my USCF ELO is 1800, and my chess online rating is around 2100. How do you study for chess? Learn from a book, or when I was studying chess, I learned from a book. But nowadays, you can learn from any video. Just put it on 2 times, and you can learn so much information. It's crazy. This is a digital age, and I would have definitely taken advantage of it if I was younger. Do you ever play casual or live? Yes, I do, but only in my Discord now. So if anybody wants to sign up for that, you can. If you want to just play with all the players in the Discord, be in tournaments, etc. I got a lot of plans for the Discord if you sign up for the TikTok subscription. Oh crap! Thought that was the pawn. Let's go over the Caro-Kann advanced variation. Any more questions so far? Nice. Nice. Good job, man. Thank you. Thank you. I had 4 games with the opponent. We both played French. I lost all 4. It happens like that. There's some good French defense players. Can you compare Caro-Kann and French defense? No. Both of those openings are really different in the goals that you're trying to achieve. Can we see you play a match? I'm not playing any matches on my live streams anymore because I don't got the right equipment. And plus two, I think TikTok, I think Twitch would be a better platform to play matches on. And not, I said Twitch, I mean. Twitch would be a better platform to play matches on. But I do want to host a live tournament pretty soon that we can all watch together and we can see how these players do in the TikTok subscriptions. Do you have a Twitch? Nope, I do not have a Twitch. Okay, last thing before I get off, we're gonna go over the Caro-Kann main line, and I'm just gonna have to play this by memory right quick. Got the advanced variation. It's pretty easy to look these up on all these databases that we have nowadays. We're just gonna go to like 12 moves. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, this is the main line for the white side. You wanted this. So after the move e4, and I'll explain the moves too. I'm not just going to just give you the moves and not explain them. But after e4, c6, d4, main line, controlling the center. White is trying to control the center, and black is trying to undermine the center with the c6 move, having a strong post on the d5 square. But white is like, I'm not just going to capture that, but instead I'm just going to do e5, gather a little bit more space on the king side. So now white's main plan is to gather more space, doing moves like f4, f5, develop pieces, things of that nature. So after the move, bishop f5, which black's main goal is to get this bishop outside of this pawn structure, because black in the future wants to do the move e6. And instead of having the bishop on c8, usually black moves the bishop out first. Another opening that I like doing when I was playing the Caro-Kann is c5. But I digress. Bishop f5 is the main line. After bishop f5, knight f3, e6, bishop e2, very simple. There's a lot of other moves that can happen, but this is the main line. Knight b to d7, castle king side. After castle king side, we got the move knight g to e7, knight b to d2, and not knight b to d2 because the c4 pawn could be pushed instead of doing knight c3. And if you look at this knight on c3, there's not really a lot of good squares that the knight can go to. For example, this knight cannot go to b5, maybe a4, but usually the knight on the rim is dim, so going to knight a4 is not really a good spot. And then the knight can't go to e4, so that's why the knight goes to d2, so that the knight can go to b3 and maybe have a lot more good squares and push this pawn up on the c4 square. So after knight b to d2, a6, planning on doing g5 later on and probably just covering up the square because black's main goal is usually, if black wants to play like this, move the queen, castle queenside, push all these pawns down. And you're just going to have to dictate that as you're playing against the Caro-Kann of what your opponent's trying to do. I've seen both sides where, in both, there are different variations where the king actually castles on the king's side, or not castle at all since the center is closed. Hopefully y'all keeping up with this, but I can slow down right quick and just answer some questions, and I'll continue right quick. What is your chess rank? I on online chess I'm around 2100. What's the youngest age you think should take lessons? I've taught kindergartners before, and they was learning how the pieces move. So I would say kindergarten. I would learn as fast as possible, probably at I don't know, 5 years old, 4 years old. Isn't that kindergarten right now? All I know is that I taught kindergartners 1 year, and I was like, wow, they're actually learning this. Should white offer a bishop trade? Usually, white does offer a bishop trade, like bishop to d3 before this knight is moved, but that's a different variation, and it goes. I can show it right quick after I go over this main line. But yeah, usually bishop does go to d3, offers a bishop trade, bishop takes, queen takes, c4, etc. Start developing pieces. Feel like OT's relatively inactive on e2. Yeah, that's why bishop usually goes to d3 because most people don't want to play with this bishop on e2. So that's chess is such a wonderful game because you get to decide what position is better for you or not. Some people believe that this bishop is a crucial part in their Caro-Kann, and some people just trade it off because they're like, no, that bishop gets in the way, and I don't even know what I'm doing with that bishop once the middle game starts. So you just have to decide for yourself and how you want to play. After the knight went to, after h6, knight usually goes to b3, like I said. And since this knight is on b3, you're targeting these squares, the c5 and b5 square. Maybe b6 might be played, but that might be a weakness that you can take advantage of, especially if you do a move like c4. After knight b3, g5, threatening to go to g4, attacking this knight. Can't push the pawns down too much because then they could become weaknesses instead. So the knight goes to e1. Now they definitely don't want to push these pawns up since that's bishop and queen combo on the d1 to h5 diagonal. After knight to e1, queen to c7, like I said, castling queenside. Knight to d3. Now two knights hitting this square. b6 finally played. Then the move bishop e3. Now bishop e3 is played just in case black wants to do c5 in the future and keep the king in the center. And plus two, that's like the only good square that bishop can go to at this present moment. Maybe f4 might be played, maybe c4 might be played in the future, not now of course, but these are the things that you have to be thinking about if you're playing against the Caro-Kann and you use the advanced variation. After bishop g7, fianchettoing that bishop, then the move f4 is played. Like I said before, you're stopping the c5 square break and you're doing your own break, which is f4. But the only problem is you don't know where this king is going. And like I said before, this king is either going on the queen side, it's staying in the center. It's probably never going to castle king side in this position unless you look it up. And I only say that because I know grandmasters probably tried it before to castle on the king side. Let me see if any grandmaster tried it. There's playable positions that you can look in a database to see if any grandmasters tried it. So the next move after this is either c5 or castle queenside. Oddly enough, no master has ever tried to castle kingside because they already pushed these pawns. And it's pretty sketchy. It's pretty sketchy. So yeah, that's the Caro-Kann advanced variation in a nutshell. And we didn't ever go over any of the sidelines. So hopefully I got all of that. That was a lot of information about the advanced variation main line. Oh yeah, let me go over the bishop d3 line that y'all was talking about. Once you understand openings and why the pieces are moving the way that they are, chess becomes a little bit more easier. Especially if you already played the opening a lot and you already seen a lot of things in that opening that people usually play. So let's go over that bishop d3 line. e4, c6, d4, d5, e5 advanced variation, bishop f5, and then after bishop f5, let me go back. The move knight f3 is still played, e6, and then the move, where is it? The only problem is I don't know when bishop d3 is even played. No, that's not the right variation. Yeah, the knight f3 move isn't the right variation. It might be this variation that I'm recalling it. h4 is probably the move that is played here. I'm going to have to find it. The h4. Okay, there we go. I just found it. All right, so after h4, h5, now white usually does in this position, bishop d3. After bishop d3, bishop takes on d3, queen takes on d3. Did I do this in the right order? I gotta make sure. Dang it, I just lost it because my variations are getting out of whack. Then the move e6 is played. After e6, bishop g5 attacking the queen. The queen usually moves to the b6 square. And then after queen b6, knight d2. And when I was playing on the black side, even though that c5 can be played too in this position that turns into like a French variation, queen a6 can be played too to get into like a quick type of draw, get the queens off the board. And it's actually a pretty pleasant position for black since you're kind of giving black what they want. Let me explain. You're giving black what they want because you're trading their light square bishop, and their light square bishop was technically a bad bishop since their pawns is on the light squares. And your light square bishop was actually a good bishop since your middle pawns were on dark squares. And now in this position, you kind of end up with the bad bishop technically since you have more pawns on dark squares and light squares. In black's position, they can move their knights pretty smoothly in and out of the position, even though that it's closed. And you already know how knights work in the closed position. So, yeah. Hopefully y'all learned a lot of the Caro-Kann advanced variation. Can we see some wayward queen stuff? Maybe next time. That was just a lot of information that I went over, and I need a breath. Ah, man. Anybody got any more questions? Anybody want to chime in, call in as a guest, things of that nature? Good stream. Have a good night, H1. Hey, you too, Martin. That was a lot of information. So if you want more info, then hey, I do have classes on my Patreon. It is $50 a month, but that's literally $10 a week. People charge a lot more. And that's classes. It's not personal. It's not one-on-one time. It's classes. You should do a collab with Epic Move Makers. Hey, if they want to. I haven't really tried to collab with any other chess figures on TikTok. Can you explain what a closed position is? A closed position is basically when there's all four pawns still in the center of the board. So none of these pawns have been captured and they're locked up together, which signals a closed position. A semi-open position is when one of the pawns in the center are taken. So that will signal a semi-open position. And a open position is when both pawns in the center are all captured, they're all taken, and usually these different type of positions signals different type of strategies that you have to take within the position. For example, a open position is more tactical. A semi-open position is more positional. It somewhat can get tactical since you have one file, but it's more positional still. And then a closed position is way more strategic. Is way more of putting your pieces in the correct squares and and basically doing pawn breaks, waiting for a correct entry point to blast the position open. So usually closed positions are slower too. My favorite chess piece, a pawn. Thanks, man. Best teacher out there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you in New York City? No, I am not. I am in Missouri. I'm in Missouri. Nobody talks about Missouri. How many tournaments you do? I will start doing tournaments a lot more often in the Discord if you sign up for the subscription. I don't know when yet, but definitely twice a month. What is the England Gambit? That's a whole other field to get into. I can't get into that right now. All right. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. This was a cool stream. I'm glad I got to go over the Caro-Kann advanced variation for you. And I don't even know if the guy stayed or not, but hopefully he did. All right. See y'all later.